Great afternoon, y'all. Welcome to my channel, The Underrated Darkness. Yours truly, the number one grinder, one of the best kiss seekers on social media. Shout out to the Miss. Shout out to the Miss. Also, shout out to my underrated one family. Let's keep on doing it, right? Let's keep on doing it. Shout out to No Duck Zone podcast family, the one and only brother Bonks Biggs himself. Clarence McLean doing big things. That he's the head of the No Duck Zone podcast. See him in there. That's right. He said smash the like button. Shout out to my Bronx family. Shout out to the Mighty LDBC that says Lions Den Boston community, also basketball community. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. We got another chop up there. My brother Obsolete LDTV will chop it up with me on the Darkness Round Table. BCB here any minute now. Um, so we waiting for him to get on. All right, so hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. Hello? Can you hear me? Working out the bugs, yo. We're working out the bugs. Hold on. On. Now I can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you hear me now? I'm
Yes, I
good.
can. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Okay, okay. We got
Sorry
it.
for this. Sorry for the
Hold on.
inconvenience.
It's all good. So, OG, this isn't StreamYard, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. All right.
This is
All right.
Screen Lab. This is Screen Lab. Yeah. So let's get into it and everything. How you feel, brother?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good. Feeling great. So,
Yes.
first off, I just want to say I appreciate you bringing me up on your show. I appreciate it, and this is gonna be a great chop up. I'm looking forward to. Also, to everybody out there, OG, man, he's super professional, and he checked in with me to make sure, you know, just make sure I was good and make sure I had everything ready to come on the show. So, yeah, I'm ready. So,
Thank you. Appreciate for the compliment. Let's get it started here. Tell
yeah,
like I said, he gonna ask me questions too, y'all. So beware. He gonna ask me questions too. Now, the first question I want to ask you: where you originally from?
I'm originally from Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, and so I moved down here to Miami in 2011. I believe it was like 2010. See, I'm in the automotive industry, and so back then when GM Motors got bought out by the government, um, a bunch of layoffs happened, right? And so I figured it was a great opportunity to move somewhere that I love. I've always loved Miami. I've always wanted to live here, and so it was an opportunity for me. And most people may look at it as a basically a couple bad things happening to me, where my lady at the time, she had broke up with me, and
Wow.
then I got laid off, and then peep this, and then my car got repoed. So most people would will be ready to just cancel life, but
Mhm.
yeah, I took it as an opportunity. Like, man, let me go down here. So I had some money, and I was like, let me go down there to Miami. I filled out for a bunch of jobs. But I was like, man, I can't. Nobody, man. OG, I must have filled out like 100 interviews, applications. And I
Well,
had my resume, and everything. But I had a couple opportunities, but I just wasn't there. Like, oh, so you down here in Miami yet? I'm like, no, I'm not even there yet. And so I just couldn't grab the opportunity. So I was like, man, I have to be on a turf. And so I finally just took that leap, and thankfully one of my cousins, I got some family here, so my cousin, he allowed me to stay with him for like a month, and I got here. My basically my boots was on the ground. Got some interviews, and man, the rest is history, pretty much.
That's great. That's great. I like that. You know, sometimes you got, sometimes in life you just gotta take that chance. You know, you never know. You know what I'm saying? The unexpected. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I'm a
that's
risk.
all right.
Yeah, I'm a risk taker, right? And so the road was just so uncertain, but I had to do it. I had to do it, and so it's definitely been a great blessing. So when you say that everything that bad happens to you really is a blessing, that's what I mean. Like, yes, I got laid off, my chick broke up with me, and my shit got repoed. But man, I'm living a hell of a life now. I'm loving my life to the to the motherfucker fullest now. So you
That's
know,
all right.
if I can, if
Right.
if I could do it, if I could do it all again, I would do it all the same. You know.
That's good. That's good. Any parents, any siblings living?
Oh yeah, both my parents is alive. I got
Great.
my mom and dad. They live up there in Minnesota, Minneapolis. I have, let me see, I have a brother and sister that live in Houston, and I have three. Was it? I think I have four brothers up there in Twin Cities, and I have a sister up there too. So yeah,
Big family. Okay. What makes you
yeah.
what makes you got into social media?
Man, social media always been well. Actually, you know what? I come from the era of like Black Planet. You heard of Black Planet?
Yes.
Okay. And so, Black Planet, being a youngster, one of my neighbors back in the day, he just kept always trying to get me to get on Black Planet. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to fuck around with that, you know what I'm saying? And so one day he was like, man, I'll make you a profile. And so he made the profile and I got on it. And so, of course, man, after that, you basically on Black Planet getting, linking up with chicks and shit like that. And
Yeah.
then it was like, man, this is cool. It's like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
basically put the battery in my back as far as hooking up my site, and it was liftoff from there.
Before we continue, I'm trying to find a background in Minnesota, but you're in Miami. I hope you like the background. I look out for you, sir.
I love your background. Yeah, I love your background. I mean, much love to the hometown, but to the city. But yeah, I love that Miami, man.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Ain't
yeah,
nothing
I
like not
thought,
seeing snow.
yeah, I understand, but I'm trying to watch in Minnesota. I was gonna do half and half, but I said, nah, I put Miami.
Yeah,
Something to do,
hey,
so make you feel at
hey,
home.
that would have been OG. That would have been dope too, though. Don't get me wrong, that would have been dope.
I know I
But
was
yeah, I
trying to
appreciate it.
find, so I'm trying to find it, right? But the pictures I was watching, I didn't even want to because I was gonna do half Miami and half well St.
Okay,
Paul. But I was like, but pictures it look familiar. I want something different. So I said, so I was like, let me go to Miami. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna do like that. You know what I mean? So, so I get it back. So I just want to make sure, make you feel at home and stuff. Okay, now,
so my,
Black
my
Friday. Go ahead. What'd you say? Sorry.
My question for you, just to jump it off,
Go
like
ahead.
you originally from Brooklyn, right?
Yes, sir.
So my favorite movie of all time is Crooklyn. That's my favorite movie of all, one of my favorite movies of all time. And so,
Really?
did you? I know this question. I don't know if it's gonna sound stupid to you or anything, but did you somehow see any of the filming to that movie, or
Well, some of it was I couldn't see some of it because it was some was for the public and some wasn't.
okay,
Because there are some actors they ain't want to. But I see some. I know Spike Lee. And it was like
okay, okay,
when they show quickly and stuff like that. Back in the days and stuff. Stuff like that. People say, "Oh, that really happened though." It was going out like that, bro.
okay,
People like,
okay,
oh man,
yeah. So
there's like, yeah, racist cops. They ain't so being a
yeah,
racist cop. But it was like, yeah, this franchise, like this is what I was saying. Talk to people like, oh yeah, but the way I didn't like how they did it, they look shit like everybody like in the project are bad, stuff like that. And they don't really talk about
Yeah.
how why the system is like that. I wish they could have talked more about that. And so,
Ah,
but
okay.
that's one thing I wish they could have really go into the system, corrupt and stuff like. But all that in Brooklyn, yeah, that's because obviously I was
Oh,
1/3 of my life was in the project, so I know.
okay. All right. So another question was just to hop into it, like how was your childhood? Like, okay, let me ask you this. What is one of your best childhood memories, and what is one of your uh negative childhood memories coming up?
The best child memories. I think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody they asked for childhood, but I never. Um, my best childhood. It's gonna sound like old soul. Learn
Yeah.
about the Black Panthers live on my block, so that was one of my best childhood.
Ah. Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
I was five. I was five. Learned about Black Panthers. That was
Damn.
like, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. My
That's
political beliefs,
legendary right
my
there.
political belief, my political beliefs were like Black Panthers, by Africa, stand up for
Yeah.
yourself. That's when I talk about the system. That's my political. That was my birth of political belief from the Black Panther Party
Okay.
when I was young, when I was very young. So I started learning about the
Okay.
system when I was very young. So when I hit about 7 8, I'm not saying I know it all and everything, but I have
Yeah.
they gave me I was seeing things what it is and stuff. So I was around the time that the black man could not be around to be in the house.
Yes.
At the time I was around, I seen it happen. I was special ed. You got especially ed. The young black boy was disfranchised. Board of
Yeah.
education. Matter of fact, around the country. And
Mm.
also young
Yeah.
young black girls was disfranchised. So I'm not saying they wasn't, but it was more than little black boys. You know what I'm saying? And so I was around that taking the school bus. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They would call you retarded and stuff like that. Especially you figure you get it from the system, but get from your own people. Like I said at the time, they ain't know better because they ain't really know the system. You brainwash. So I understood that. So around that. Now the negative of my childhood, what I just talked about,
Mm.
it's a more than that.
Okay. So okay. Mm.
So is that so? It was at times I was by myself. You know, and
So
then
what?
like,
So was it for you? So for you,
huh?
you said you came up in special ed. So was it for like learning disabilities, or was it for like? Because I know
It
a
was
lot
a-
of times they put people.
it was a learn to split that.
Okay.
So that's
So
what,
or
so
was it? Because I know a lot of times they put like people who are for behavioral type. You know
Now I had no
what
behavior
is it?
problems. No, it wasn't no behavior.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
a slow learning disability. But see, at the same time, it was like that's what I'm saying. We were disfranchised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
different. Our history was not being taught right. The way we come out,
Right.
we was around a lot of stuff. So they just dealing with white teachers that mostly women. They don't want to deal with you. They ain't talking about
Right. Okay.
the older white men that are racist and stuff. All that
Okay.
Jews. Yeah, I say it. It was Jews,
Mm.
racists and stuff like that. So I became say they evil stars, stuff like that. There was a lot of stuff I dealt with when I was a child. Like I said, now we're talking about 7 8. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up. The two negative was I lost my grandfather, my late mother's father. I lost him at 72 when I was 6. Then
Okay.
my father's father came from down south. He stayed with us almost a year and a half. And he passed away at 74. Two.
Ah. Okay.
So so for me, I can't talk for my other brothers and sisters, but that means that hurts because in their own way. They helped me. They helped me to deal with certain things. Besides my father, though, I'm not saying that, but as a grandfather,
Mm.
as an elder, I lost him two within 2 years, and that really like he hurt me, but it helped me my growth a little stronger. See how the system is, how they treat both of them. You know what I mean, and the doctors
Okay.
and stuff like that. So it helped me grow up and see how the difference is and how they treat the black man. Again, I'm not saying that they treat the black woman worse. I'm not saying that. I have to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that because you know how people sensitive it is, brother. You know that,
Right.
I
I
know
got
that. But I have to say
yeah.
that. But that hurted me, and it took me a minute to really get over it and stuff, to really see that they ain't lived long enough to see the man I become to be. You know what I mean? The teenager and stuff like that. So 72, 74, I was like, I was there, but I was not there. It was like, I was isolated,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
they pretty much well just railroad you in school as well,
yeah,
huh?
they were everybody, man. This color world, man. I'm saying, but it was not happening just New York. It was happening all over the United States.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So, but
I
but at the
got you.
same time, and then at the same time, though, too, before we continue, before I ask you this question, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know about this. Back in '72, the same year that my grandfather passed away, my mother's father. I call him his last name. I call him Grandfather Wallace.
Okay.
That's the late great Afina Shakur. She got arrested with the Black Panther Party back in New York back in '72.
Oh wow.
That's nationally. So I was around it too. So
That's his.
you know,
So that's
yeah.
history.
So
You
that's
seen a
I
lot of
was
history in there
yeah, yeah,
with your own eyes.
yeah. So that history helped me grow up like faster than I really want to. I embraced it, but
Yeah, yeah.
so like that. So, but the question I want to
That's
ask you,
dope.
how do more grow up in Minnesota? I know there's a lot of our history in Minnesota,
Uh-huh.
lot of history. Once you talk about it, I ain't gonna say
you know, you know, you know what? To be honest, OG, like being in a city and how it was, like I didn't really care about like I care more about the history now because I'm not there, which is sad. But like my wife, we go up there and I've been to so many places up there that didn't go when I was living there. And so when a wife go up there, like she loves to go stay in. Like I stayed in like a what do you call it? I've stayed in a cabin before, like as a young kid and shit like that. But
uh-huh.
when she go up there, like she likes to go out into the woods and shit. Like she loves to do a bunch of different things that I didn't like doing as a young buck. So in all honesty, OG, my when it comes to history for me in Minneapolis is Prince and what is his name? Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Them is them is like history for me up there. You feel me? So
You
those
can't go no
legends.
wrong. Can't go no wrong in that and everything.
Yeah.
Can't go no wrong
So
now, but I know, Brando. Yeah, I just go back to the R&B back in what you was talking about, even like jazz. And even like I appreciate the black people. I mean, our African descent, people of African descent, how they stand up for
mhm.
themselves in Minneapolis, even decades before that. So I just want to
Mhm.
let you know that I appreciate that, and I think that when we talk about our history, we gotta include Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, because they part of the spearheads.
Oh,
You
that's
know, what I'm saying. I think I want. So I think I'm gonna talk more about that in my channel in the near future and stuff.
okay.
That need to be respected and stuff, not just music but political
I,
and
I,
stuff. But I know they talk about
I know
liberal.
for sure that I know for sure that they appreciate that hearing that from somebody who was actually in Brooklyn and seeing all that history that you've seen. They would definitely
Yeah,
appreciate hearing how you appreciate them up there for what they
yeah,
did.
yeah.
So
They set the term.
that's what's up.
Yeah, y'all don't get the credit it deserves. So I'm gonna do that in the near future. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring you back up so we can talk
Okay.
about that. I'm bring you back up so we
Bet
can
that.
talk about that. That's in the near future. Another question is, was you into sports? You have any? Also, another
Oh, of
question.
course I did.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Nah, yeah, football. That was my, of course, did basketball a little bit, but never played on a team. But I played football. That was my thing
What happened?
in school.
What happened to
The
football?
thing with football is I stopped in like 10th grade because I was like I wanted to make sure I graduated. And there was a
Oh,
I remember one day I had went to go talk to my what do you call them, guidance.
oh, he got kicked off. Oh, but he be back. He be back. Again, welcome to my channel, Underrated Darkness. Yours truly, the number one grinder, one of the best cat seekers on social media, the best of the business. Um, Wait till we get back here. And if y'all can hear me, press one. Let me shout out some people before he come back and stuff. Brother McLean, thank you. Um, brother Antique, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Sister Cynical One, thanks for coming. And then come on in. If I'm chopping it up with the brother Oscelin TV, we chopping it with me, the Doctor's Roundtable, chopping it with me, chop it up with us and everything. So waiting for him to come in. So maybe some technical happen and stuff. It happens, you know. It really happens and stuff. So I'm waiting to head back and everything. But the big game is tonight, game one of the Knicks. I mean, the Indiana is at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Game one of the Eastern Finals and stuff. I don't know what time, but it's coming on tonight. Hopefully the Knicks could be victorious and stuff. So watch out for that. I'm saying if they win tonight, I probably do a I'll probably do a live. There'll be time to set it up and stuff. And I'll probably do a live. If they lose, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna keep it just like that. If they win, okay. So waiting for the brother to come back and everything. So waiting for the brother to come back. I don't know what happened. So, but all right, cool. There it is. Hello, 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 hello. All right. He waiting for the thing to do their thing. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. We gotta get this right here. So okay, hold on. Hello?
You hear me?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. What happened? My phone overheated. My fault.
Oh yeah. You breaking up though. Keep on
Hold on.
talking.
Let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I get you now. You good. You good. Keep it right there.
Okay.
What's
Yeah,
what's what?
my phone overheated. Man, my phone overheated, and then man, that shit overheated. But yeah, I'm back. But anyway, what was you asking me again? Oh,
Oh, you were talking about school, the graduating stuff like that.
ah, I was talking about I would have I stopped playing. I stopped doing football because I wanted to make sure that I graduated. What happened was I had went to my guidance counselor in 10th grade, and even though I was on track, I was actually ahead. But I started seeing kids like coming out of the guidance counselor, like different offices crying and shit. And so I was like, man, let me focus. And then I started working as well too. So it became my focus was, getting money and making sure I graduated. So with doing like I started doing like after school classes, and even I started doing summer. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I get you.
I started doing after school classes, and I started doing summer school classes. And so I ended up my senior year. I ended up I think my only one of my only classes was like weightlifting, and the rest was study hall. So I had it so good to where I could come to school late, and I was able to like leave school early. So
You breaking up.
that's hold on. Let me see what's up. Let me see what's up with my audio. Damn. Let me see.
You good right there.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you breaking a little bit, but you keep on going. We can probably work out. Now, after you graduate, did you went to college or you went to the service or something like that?
Nah, I went to school for auto body. That's what I went to. I went to a vocational school.
Oh, okay. Went to vocational school. So after you graduate, you was talking about you was working at a job. What job you was working at again? I'm talking because I'm
Man, OG, I had all types of jobs. Like, of course, the first job was like McDonald's and stuff, and then JC Penney, then Chuck E. Cheese, and then I got hip to what do you call those? What do you call those jobs where you go? Dang, what is it? Temp job? Yeah, I got hip to temp jobs. So I started doing a bunch of temp jobs, and
okay.
you know, I did a bunch of stuff, like warehouse type shit and stuff like that. Then I ended up working at Sam's Club. Man, I don't have so many jobs, but so but yeah, it was basically 2 years school. I went for 2 years and graduated from there. And then that's when I went into working on cars, body work and paint. So
Got you. Yeah. Family. In the next 5 minutes, if you want to put your questions in the chat, if you want to ask question to my brother here. So put your question within 5 minutes right now. Put your questions in the chat. Matter of fact, start right now to put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. You want to ask him something. Put your questions in the chat. Um, let me so the job you was talking about earlier, right? What job was that you lost? What you was doing before you moved
oh,
up?
before I came to Minnesota, yeah, I was
Yes.
working at a it's called North Star Auto Auction. It's basically I was working on cars, painting cars, body work, shit like that. And so, like I said, what happened was GM ended up buying them out, and so due to the contracts, government contracts, they passed down a bunch of layoffs, and I ended up getting laid off. So that's how that job pretty much ended.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
Yeah,
So
but like I said, it was a blessing. It was a
it was a
blessing.
blessing, yes. Yeah, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the blessing behind me, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like my, I've been in Miami a few times in my lifetime.
Mhm.
I've been in my lifetime. I've been in Miami a few times. It's a beautiful place, man. I mean,
Okay, yeah. So you know firsthand, just the vibe alone is lovely.
yeah,
You
it's
know.
lovely, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm letting people know now. If you're married or you're in a relationship, don't go down there by yourself now. You don't want to,
uh,
man or woman, don't do that.
you gotta be a special type to
Yeah,
you
now if you're
gotta be a
single,
special.
hey, that's all right. But still be
Yeah,
careful. Be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, I have,
yeah,
yeah. You gotta be careful. Gotta be real careful now. Man.
yeah. A lot to see.
Especially
Shit.
now, because when I was with the ex in New York, we stayed at North Beach, right on Collins Avenue.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
We was on North Beach side,
Okay.
the Christ Kevin, they got some women up there too. Don't sleep now.
you say
Yeah, they
you
do. Yes, they
you
do. I mean, like
you,
it's
you
real
can't
quiet.
you can't
It's real
escape them.
quiet in South Beach. But I said, yeah, go to South Beach. Have a good time. Then come back. Yeah. It's North Beach now. Don't sleep. And
See,
I never knew that you could actually walk straight up North Beach too from the south. I never knew that. I thought it was
yeah.
cut off.
Nah,
But
you can walk. You can walk all the way up. You can walk straight up.
I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never,
I used to live on North Beach too. I used to live my first after I left my cousin's crib. I had a studio, and it was basically on North Beach. It was 69. 66 Byron Avenue. I still remember the
Mm.
address. And it was literally like 2 blocks away from the beach, from the ocean. And so for me being from Minnesota, that was heaven. That was heaven right there. Even though it was a studio, it was heaven, like so just being down here, like I said, the vibe and everything, it was just beautiful. And plus, just a new beginning, which is great. Everybody should have go for a new beginning every now and then. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
love
I
it.
think anybody should experience a new beginning. My new beginning, I left from
Yeah.
Virginia to New York, but I get into that. You guys be questioning about that. Again, family, if in the chat, if y'all want to put questions in there, put questions in there, and stuff. Now, speed up right there, you in Miami, in the studio now. Now what year did further before I ask this question, I'm gonna ask this question right now. When
Uh,
did you move to Miami?
2011,
All right.
October. I think it was like the end of September, October 1st, kind of. Let me tell you this, OG. Let me tell you this story.
Okay.
So when I moved to Miami, I took a one-way ticket. Granted, I gave away a bunch of my stuff because, like I said, I was starting over. So I just took some clothes and I took a one-way ticket instead of driving. And I sent my this car I had. I sent it on like a transporter. And the thing, my plan was to fill up the car with a bunch of my stuff, but I was told that you're not allowed to fill your car with a bunch of stuff. So
Mhm.
what happened was I just, gave away a bunch of stuff, sold some stuff, and then I just took whatever, the clothes, the clothes that I wanted. I brought it and I took a flight. I took a one-way ticket. But the thing is, it had a layover. The layover was in Atlanta. So, peep this, OG. I got to Atlanta and I went in the bathroom. And I just kind of like I kind of just kind of looked up at the ceiling, and then I glanced over, and guess who was standing next to me? Keith Sweat was standing next to me, OG.
What?
Yeah,
New
like
York East Sweat.
yeah, Keith Sweat was standing right next to me, and so ever since that day, I was like, man, this to me, I believe in like to me that was a sign, like man, this moving here is gonna be legendary. That's how I took it. And of course I didn't meet Keith Sweat because when you're in the bathroom doing your business, the last thing you want to do is talk to another man. So
Exactly. You don't want to say. You want to say, watch your hands and be out. Right.
even after I washed my hand, I just let him go. I just let him go on his way. And so I'm like, man, that's dope right there. I just seen Keith Sweat on my one way to on my way to my new home. So yeah, that was dope.
Wow. Now we took care of that. You moved on Byron Avenue and stuff like that. Now, speed it up right here. When did you meet the now? When did you meet the wife and how long y'all was together before y'all got married?
I met the wife at the gig, and she would always like show me around, man. Like, I'm new here. She showed me around. Just a great person. And I don't know. I knew. I met her at the gig though, but I knew. I had a conversation with her in one of the offices, and just peeping how her mind was and her answer. I'm like, yeah, I got like a tingle. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, she got her mind right. And so we
Right.
just we started talking and just hanging out, just having fun with each other. And I can't actually tell you when we actually, let me just say this. On July 8th, we will be together for 12 years. I'm gonna just say that. But we've been married for 8 years, just
For 12
last
years, so we in 2025. That's 2013. Okay, that's
yeah,
what's up.
2013, July 8th, 2013.
And you
And
was y'all
so
was married. Now was married for 8 years.
yep.
Oh, okay.
So we're together about 3 years, 4 years. No, what's it? Oh no. We got married. I'm sorry, we got married. I'm sorry, we got married in 2017, and like I said, I made it official on July 8th, 2013. So that's what that was. So yeah,
That's
married
all right.
together 12, married for 8. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You have any kids?
Yeah, we got of course she has a daughter from a previous who I
Right.
definitely I claim as my own. She's 13, she'll be 14 on the 6th of June. And
Ooh.
we have twins. And so remember you called me yesterday, that's where we went to. She
Right.
to that event. That event was for my oldest 13-year-old. So and then we have twins, a boy and a girl. So you said
Family.
what?
Family.
I can't hear you.
I said, tell us the family unit. Like you say, you came in, she already have a lovely daughter. Then you had
Yeah.
twins. So, how that dynamic is, for men, especially a black man.
So of course is my limit was, of course you want to start your own family, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you come across a great woman, let me the limit she can have is one child. And so I
Mhm.
was like, to me, she was like, man, she was just solid. Just compared to all you could just imagine how Miami chicks be, the stereotypical Miami chicks. And so she was just so solid. I was like, yeah, she was speaking my language just as far as what she was on mindfully. So I was like, yeah, she's definitely the one for me. Like you said, if I could find one that I always thought that like if I could find one that I want to be with down in Miami, then she definitely that one. Cause like you said, down here there's a lot to see.
A
But
lot. You got a lot to pick. It depends
yeah,
what kind you want and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's up, man. That's
But
what's up.
also it's about the quality of woman. So
Yeah.
so I'm like, yeah, I mean, for me, she's a great quality woman. Let me tie this one down. So that's how that was. But of course, being a step parent, it has its challenges. But
Hmm.
I've been in her life since she was 2. So
Oh,
and
yeah.
even
That's a minute. That's a minute. Right.
even with her father, we had a solid co-parenting situation.
That's
So
good.
there was never any type of beef or none. Maybe I had a situation with him. Maybe it's not. I can't even call it a situation, but I had a conversation with him, and I feel like after that we just had a complete understanding of where I stood. So
That's good. Now, do you have any favorite sports teams?
of course the Timberwolves, and then
I don't know. I don't know why I asked.
Timberwolves. You gotta love the home squad. I love the 49ers. I grew up
Okay.
Joe Montana era.
Yeah.
Uh, Jerry Rice, that's my favorite wide receiver of all time. And of course, I got to witness Randy Moss when he was up in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Man,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it was dope. Other than of course, I got love for the Dolphins just because I'm here, just because I'm here. But other than that, and of course, I also another blessing is that I was here for LeBron's rings when he got his rings down here in Miami. I was here for that. So and
Mm.
I went to both parades for that, so that was a dope ass experience.
Good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Now,
Yeah,
any question you want to ask, feel free. Got people before you
yeah.
ask people. If y'all want to ask questions, ask some questions now. Ask some questions. But now
I got a question for you before you hit me
yes,
with
yes,
one.
sir. Go ahead.
What is your best advice? Because you've been married before. What is if somebody was asking like, "Yo, G, what is your best advice?" What would you? What couple gems would you give them?
That's a good question. Hey, okay. The best advice I would say is that you gotta learn to work together.
Mm,
Gotta keep people out your business.
mm,
You gotta understand that is your best friend. Even like you in a relationship,
yeah,
You know, you got it have to be established, especially like if that person is going to be in your life forever. You have to establish right then and there that it's going to have the two parties have to change, have to
Mm-hmm.
become as one, and there has to be some discipline, and it has to be right now. So, my advice for people, I know that people, you know, you had to if you want this, you got to work at it, and you got the longevity. You know what I'm saying that you have to keep family friends out your business. I'm talking about both parties, and
Yeah.
sometimes it just has to be. There's a certain closeness of families and stuff, and
Yeah.
but you got to establish that early. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you got to establish that early. You know, so that's my advice. You know, and understand that if you marry each other, yeah, you married each other, but always never. My parents told me this in their own way. My late mother told me this in her own way. My father told me his own way. Never go to bed while you're angry, because you
I
never
love. I
know.
love it.
You never know. And
Mm-hmm.
even like if you in a relationship, they say even like if you in a relationship, because before my father, like I said, before my father got married, you know, my they was caught. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you had never be mad at each other. You know, don't try to do it. You cannot tell everybody everything, because something they
Mm-hmm.
use that against you and you get back together and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So you have to be mature. So I'll never forget my late mother. She said you have to be mentally mature to work it out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And,
That's
and,
yeah.
I, and that's that. And I remember that I heard these talk because this see at the time I was the youngest
Mm-hmm.
until my late brother Lamar. He was Down syndrome. He was born in 1979.
Okay.
I was the youngest for almost 13 years, and so but they told me this like when I was young, and so that stuck with me. And my late father always to tell me that listen, you fight what you love. You know, you guys. Sometimes you guys. Remember, I tell you, stay out of grown people business. Yeah, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do that. And so I learned that I was very early. You know, I ain't mean talking about my late grandmother. You know, my
Yeah.
grandmother's always, you know, my late grandmother, my late father couldn't stand each other. I mean, like, you know, she's from North Carolina, he's from Georgia. You know how people in the South give it up. I don't
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
You know, and I witnessed that and everything. And if I put my late mother in the middle, my mother said, look, I love you, mom, but this is my husband. This is
Mm-hmm.
my family. And you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
respect that. So I
Yeah.
learned that
Yeah.
when I was very, very young. And so
Mm-hmm.
she said, that's the way you gotta handle that.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
you
That's
gotta
dope.
fight for family, you know, longevity and stuff like that. So that's why, like throughout the years, you know, my brother always talking about family. I talk about life experience because you know my late grandmother didn't really care about me because I'm Herschel Thomas' father. That's
Oh, okay.
I got my late father's middle name.
So she didn't
Too.
like
So
that.
yeah, but we never really, me and my father, no, until like 81 and
Okay.
89, we had the best years. We got closer and stuff like that. And so there's certain things my late father had to take care of, you know, my late
Okay.
grandmother. You know, as a hey, you know, because you know when you hang with your grandparents, they buy you things. You want,
Hell
but
yeah. Yeah.
I never had that because my grandmother didn't really care about me. She put up with me because, and then one day, make a long story short, he came, you know, this back like in 82.
Mm-hmm.
I think I believe it was 82. He said, let me ask you a question, son. I said, yeah, dude, when you go shopping with your grandmother, you know, does she buy you something? Don't lie to me, boy, because you know I punish you. I take basketball from you. You know that. I said, no. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get to the liquor part too. Take basketball from you. You know you like plastic. No, I know that she ain't. You mean she never? But why you never told us? I said it wasn't really nothing. So you know, said, okay. And that was the same day we was going to our grandma. Cause our grandmother, one good thing about grandma, she always keep the family together. So she always had cooked food to keep the family together. That was the thing to keep her family together throughout the
Yeah.
years. And I appreciate it. That was the same day. And I never forget that was also the same day when my late mother, she was doing hair at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we was in the house and everything. I said, "You're gonna have an argument, right?" He said, "Yeah, take your younger brother in the room and then back in the front of the house, so we gotta talk." And it was and this and that. And I never forget, my fault. That's my fault. My fault was cheap, but I always get money from him. I don't know why. I see like I get money from him. That man, you say I'm a man. I gotta have some. I gotta have some pockets here. You see, look. But they show me how to spend money wisely and stuff. So after that, right? My father like, well, you ain't gonna bring it. I said, no, Dad, I'll put the rest in the pocket. So what happened was he said, put the $60, put that up in the room. Here's $10. You could spend that on everything. And he gave me 5 quarters. I never forget. He gave me 5 quarters. He said, for each time when you ask grandma, could you get you something? I want you to go to the phone booth and call 5 times. Now, at the time, my mother was like getting ready, because at the time, that's my one of my cousins. She owns a beauty parlor across town in Brooklyn, and so she was getting ready to go there. She will drop them off, drop my late mother, my late younger brother off. Then he gonna take me to go pick up grandma. Then he was going to take us there. Then go home and pick us up. Well, so each time I called 5 times. So the fifth quarter, I called, and we was there for almost 2 hours because my grandmother, she usually buy some stuff here, some stuff, but she didn't buy everything. So it was 2 shopping carts, and so I put my quarter, put my fifth quarter down. The 5th quarter, he let him know that he was here on his way.
Yeah.
So when I put my quarter, I didn't want to tell him. I was like hurt. Because I know the history, you know what I mean? Again, I know how she treated me in the past, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I ain't want to tell my father because I ain't want to tell him, but I know but as a parent, he said when you're a parent, you gotta say, because when your child tell you something, another thing, when you become a parent, you gotta know things, we gotta take care. So he said, son, just tell me the truth. And I was like in tears. The grandma ain't got me nothing. He said, she ain't got you what? So my father, he was like 30 minutes away. I'd be there in 20. Now he called my mom's already. I hang up the phone. I wipe tears and everything. Everything gonna be all right. I said, you gonna go? Yeah, it's going down like that. Nah, I don't care. She said, I don't care you hate me. You know what I'm saying? But don't treat my child like that.
Yeah.
And then so I want people to understand from 81 to 89, we still having those talks and everything. He would see everything was going on. You hear what I'm saying? And my late father got fed up with it. Nah, he'll go, but he don't bother nobody. He just went, why you? And so he called my mom. Now I did not know till they pull up. Now again, I had $10 in my pocket. I said, Dad, I'm gonna get me and Lamar something. Now let people know about this. Now we're talking about grandfather Wallace. Now, grandfather Thomas, he passed away in 74. Now, his name also Lamar. So my mother named Lamar after my late grandfather.
Okay.
So I just want people to get that put that out there. So my father said, put that in your pocket because if I don't eat certain limits of time, I get sick. Okay. I literally get sick. So he said, no, you start a little weak. Put that in your pocket here, there, take your brother in there, and we're gonna handle this. Go get you something in there and put the. I said, Dad, you ain't put the change in my pocket. He said, boy, I take it back. No, after you take no. He said, put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. Don't worry about it. You're gonna have some change. So take them on because I don't want to see. So I would tell everybody was like watching. Cause my mom went ham on my grandma. Her mother. How dare you treat him that way? And I tell you, I take him. So all right. How dare you? You no. You doing? So I had to experience seeing that. And my younger brother Lamar said, "It gonna be all right." I said, "It'll be all right. It's grown people talk, you know. Always grown people talk. You know, gotta let grown people do grown people. Grown people." I said, "Mom and Dad protecting us." So you know, he said, "Okay." So I got him a sandwich, and I me a sandwich, something to drink and stuff. So I gave him. I said, "No, put that in your pocket. Put that in your pocket." So my mom's like this. And so y'all see, like my late grandmother was like, let the child, like, you don't have no right to talk. No. You no. And like my father, you can hate me, but don't treat him that way.
Yeah.
He never did nothing wrong. Why you can't buy him? He don't ask for nothing. And I said, I didn't want the Haagen, you know, the Haagen Dazs ice cream. It was 2 for $3. That's what I wanted. Yeah. 2 for $3. I ain't like no hero, nothing. So my father, man, forget on why you can't get him 2 for $3. What you ask for? I said, Dad, I just want talking 2 for $3. You can't get him 2 for $3. I mean, other kids they asked this and that. He asked 2. He said, you ain't asked for doing that. I said, no, Dad, she got doing it in the house. You know what I'm saying? But I just asked for 2 or 3.
That's wild.
So what happened was that dynamic too. I seen it like that. So my father, he said, start looking at me. No, son, you sit in the front with me. And mom, I'm gonna sit in the back with my. You don't have no right to tell you. I'm gonna be on your ass. So now, so you know, I did not know. So my mother went to the phone booth and called my late aunt. Oh my God! So when they got to the house, it was they was right there too, because my late aunt was like my second mother. Oh my God, you know, it was like because they knew at the time how I was, you know, I was in special ed, you know what I'm saying? Isolated, you know, I have a few people, you know, a few friends. So they know the history too. So my mom, you know, my late mom's like Tanner was up, and then after that, then my late grand aunt Rosa, that's my grandmother's sister. She heard about all that. She got it. Everybody was chewing her up. Nah, you doing like that. You don't have no
She
right.
got that work, huh? You got that work there, huh?
Because they seen it what happened. Because they seen what happened, and so my witness sitting and everything, and then my mom's, how dare you? Y'all don't understand. I do love. No, you don't. No, you don't. And so my mom said, "Do you think grandma loves you?" I said, "She doesn't love me." I said, "She don't like me because I'm Herschel Thomas' son." I said, "I felt. That's how I felt. It was happening to me. You know what I mean?" But see, at the same time, my mom's in the middle. My aunt is in the middle. Then my great aunt, she ain't care. She going in. She no, you ain't gonna. My late aunt Rosa, she bougie. I ain't gonna lie. I call her ghetto bougie. She
Everybody
ghetto
got one.
bougie. Yeah, she ghetto bougie. She at one time she owned her own brownstone book and best stockbroker. She old school bougie. She like deal with men that money. So you know she food. You know what I'm saying? So she was this guy named Billy, and she was her a long time. They talk to a lot. He always give me money back. You know what I'm saying? So it was like he was like a grand uncle. You know what I mean? So with that incident that day. You know, those are reminders. Clarence, you want to ask questions to my brother? You go right ahead. And so
I got a question for you though.
go
What
ahead.
made you?
After I
What
finish
made?
the story.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
so what happened was speed it up and everything. And at the same time, the gym was around the corner. I was on this basketball team.
Okay.
And we played the same team that beat us in the championship. I think it was in the Bronx. It was 2 Brooklyn teams. So so that day. So my father said, "Eat your food, rest up, because you got a game to be playing." My father never came to my basketball games. My late father and my late uncle came to the game. They didn't stay long enough, but that was a trying time. So God has, you know how God works, mysterious ways, and I did work. I did work. I ain't lie, y'all. I did work. I got MVP and stuff like that. I did work. I did work. Got MVP and stuff like that. So they said, so my older brother, he was living with my grandmother at the time. So I was like superstar, you know what I'm saying, for the like first time, like a long time. It was about
that's
me,
dope.
but I never liked to read about me. It was about the community and stuff like that. And all my best friends was on the same team, so we have to celebrate together. And all of them was in a special education classes too, but they were the different schools, but we always take the same school bus together because where they live at, the school they didn't have no special ed classes, so they had to go to other schools, across town and stuff. So we all celebrate that, they go all best friends, and then speed it up that night, right? My grandma made 3 big pans of macaroni and cheese. So now my father, he now he petty now. He petty. He said, look, as my grandmother was an excellent card player. I come from a card playing family. I just didn't like to play cards.
Okay.
But father, I said give and take like 5-6 years. At that house, nobody, she's like champion.
Yeah.
I said, man, nobody, man. So he said, I see you made 3 big pans, Mary Lee Basket. Yeah. I said, me and Francis going to play for that one pad. So I can say my real name, Jerry. He said, son, you gonna play for that? You gonna play for that pad? You gonna take that home? Oh no, yes, he is. So mom said, Mom, if you that confident, why don't you play? Play for the. I don't see you want nothing on it. So my late aunt, my late uncle, and my I remember my grand Aunt Rosa, she came back with Billy. That they went out and did a little something, So y'all know what I mean. Did a little something. I said, y'all get ready to do a little. Y'all came back. Oh, we be back. Yeah. I got it.
You know what that means?
Yeah, know what that means. I got it. I have to get enough. I gotta get some. So make sure you're gonna get some more money in your pockets. All right, Rose. I was like, Rose. She was a true G. General G. I said, yo, all right. So she came and said, yeah, I don't see why not. What she said, you say you confident, right, sis? Let him play. Oh, that's all right, because you ain't gonna take no parent home. So my father said, pick the biggest one. That's good heavy, right? I said, yeah, that's the heavy. Yeah, you're gonna take that home tonight. You're gonna take it home. You're gonna take that home. You're gonna put it. He said, we gonna, matter of fact, I'll be right back. Let me go to the car and fix up the trunk a little bit. And he told me to come with him. He said, yeah, that's gonna fit real good. That's gonna fit real good. Come on, son, let's get back in there because they going down tonight. I said, you really serious? Said, yeah, they going down tonight. I feel good tonight. I feel real good tonight. Yeah, she's going down tonight. Her streak is over. We played no West. They put West at 500. And I'm telling you, he came back. She said, got the drinks out. Her ain't going. Yeah, this is my high. I take people down. And my mom, she said, yeah, Mom, I feel good tonight too. So my father, I want you to go in the kitchen, get that big pan again. That feel real good, son. I said, I feel real good, Dad. That feel real good. That feel it's heavy. You can take it to the car. But I said, that feel real good, Dad. That feel real good. He said, yeah, feel real good within an hour when we leave. Within an hour and a half we leave, I'd be more than happy to help you carry it. I said, no, Dad, you can carry it. Yeah, I'm gonna have the keys out and I'm gonna open it and you put it right in there. Yeah, don't even worry about it. He said, I feel real good tonight. And my father, he's just in 5th grade and reading level, but with a car playing, forget about it. He said, yeah.
Master, huh? You say he's master?
Right. He said he can't look at the cards. They ain't saying nothing. He said, this how you throw this out, throw it, like that. And then he said, oh, he can't. Yeah, I feel good tonight. Bang! 100. You stuck it in the hole like this. He said, So my father said like this. He said, Francis, no matter what, just throw out. And I threw out. They ain't want not one hand. They stuck it every time. He said that he showed me he showed me his book. He said, look at this. I want you to go look at mine. I said, why ain't had nothing? He said, watch it. I want you to go see how he play. He said, Francis, just throw out. I got the rest. How much you could squeeze out? So I probably squeeze out 3. If you can give me 2, I got the rest. My mom squeezed out 3. My father like, son, where's the Reynolds wrap at? No, Reynolds wrap. You know the Reynolds wrap, right? So yeah, go wrap it up and put it in your laps because we after this we leave it with that macaroni and cheese. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And he said, no, he ain't going nowhere. We're gonna win this book. We keep it going. I don't think that'd be a smart thing. I did. Now you want to throw your book in and call it a day. Now we're gonna play it out. So okay, a hard head make a soft behind. And every doggone time, he said, son, just stay in the kitchen and just look at the macaroni cheese. How I want you get the feeling of it, how you're going to carry it. My father was a convict. And so my mom said, yeah, it feels real good and everything. Yeah, I said, yeah. So after the loss, he said, who lost now? Yeah, cheat. There ain't no cheat. Son, you got a plastic bag, wrap that thing up. How it feel good, son? It feels real good. Why you can't take it? No, the agreement was that he picked the pan, so that's right. He picked the pan, I said, it feels real good, does it, right? It feels real good. I said, you see how God works his ways? You have a good night. See you later and stuff. But usually when my grandma had people over again, she always invite us over, not my aunts and them stuff, but she always invite us back over, and stuff like that. So say we see you tomorrow. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. She was mad. We don't come back that next day anyway. Yeah, but I said I feel real good. I said, yeah. He said Saturday night. I said my son got MVP. Hey, well, we killed you on the table. Yeah, me and your daughter killed you on the table. Oh yeah, like ain't no luck again. We can play tomorrow too if you want. Yeah, we can play tomorrow too. Beat them again this Sunday. But what happened was before you asked the question, but it goes to show that. But a lesson that I learned that how my parents, how the dynamic that sometimes that prejudice that even blood can happen. In spite you don't like this person, you could take it out on them, and sometimes it could cause a rift. And that I guess in my father's way, he played the cards. You heard my son. I'm sorry. You heard our son, and my mom's what they was in quotes. You heard our son. Now you want to pay for it. So that was their little get back there. We gonna like that. And so for them, they want me to see. I got you back. Even in special ed, we have your back. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
I got you.
So for me, it was a reminder to say, yeah, and it was like, and it was humiliating. My grandmother it was humiliating her. And my grandma was that type of person. She had pride, pride, from South, you gotta have pride. And humble, like, look. And I walked out there. Usually my grandmother usually walked with us, to the car and stuff, lock the door, and she didn't want to. So mom, walk with us. No, don't let it change. I said, mom, it's okay. I got the mac and cheese anyway. And she don't have to walk with us. I did. So my father, it's all right. You don't have to say no more. I said, I understand. Go in there. Let's go. Let your mom do with her mother. We got some mac and cheese. I said, what you gonna do with that? I said, Dad, I thought you gonna cook. Yeah, we're gonna cook some. I'm gonna cook some macaroni and cheese, and my macaroni and cheese better than her. But we're gonna eat some of this tonight. It's up to you. All right, we're gonna have some of this tonight. I said, look at this. I said, Dad, you hook up a nice spot. That fit right. Oh, it fit real good in there, right, boy? It fit real good in there. I said, yeah, Dad. There'll be no shaking or nothing. And my grandmother, I give her a hug and stuff like that. And I said, I love you. But what you treat me is wrong. I'm your grandson, I'm blood. And I get in there. She said, why are you talking to me like that? So my mom said, yeah, I told him to tell you that. That's wrong, mommy. We say, we see you tomorrow, but that's wrong. I said, you hurt me. I'm very angry at you because now I gotta talk to her. I said, Mom, you told me about what it is. Mom, I said, I took one thing that away from her, the mac and cheese. That's my get back. And in a good way. So It let me know. So from that part, when people said you family and you're priority, and then you throw me away, I'm gonna feel a certain way about that.
Right. Understood. Understood.
You
Yeah.
know, go on your question.
Um, my question is, what made you move to Virginia from Brooklyn? Like,
Good question. When I was with the ex, didn't work out. So
mm,
I was going through problems with her. You know, she did certain things was not appropriate, wasn't appropriate, and so I
okay,
had to leave. And my older brother took me in. He was married at the time, and
all right,
like that's what I came down and I got left. I left. Matter of fact, I got kicked out June 1st, 2012, 3 days before
okay,
my birthday, and then that's
wow.
why. Yeah, yeah, and so that was a trying time for me and stuff like this.
Mm. So how do you like Virginia compared to? I mean, of course, home is always home, right? So, but how do you
Always
like
home.
how do you like Brooklyn? How do you like Virginia versus compared to Brooklyn? Because I've never been to Virginia.
Virginia, I mean, you can't beat the weather. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Mm,
The weather people, I've said some majority of people down here, they you know, there you go, Clarence, too. For me, Virginia, how I say this, they settle, they don't fight. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And then they got this certain complex about New York. Oh, New York, you think you're all that? And it's like, but I met some beautiful people down here, just a few. I met some
yeah.
beautiful people down here, but you know, it's just you know what it is, you know. So
Okay. So you say you making the best out of it.
now I'm making the best out of tell the truth, you know.
I respect that.
God's when I'm gonna relocate, you know. So
Okay.
work on that, you know. But yeah, so yeah, so that's fine. I make the best out of it. You know, I mean, you gotta have money to stay out here, and you know, resources and stuff is very,
Yeah.
you know, it's just it gets tough down there sometimes. You know, it gets tough. You know, so
Mm,
that's why you know. So Clarence, you got any question to ask them? Anybody you
yeah.
can ask, and then so that's why. So that's what I go. You know, but I'm saying with the weather, hey, look, you know, sometimes November be 85, 90, 75, can't beat that. You know, April
Mm,
sometimes be same, can't beat it. You wear a sweater, jacket and stuff. But sometimes it changes. Sometimes it could be hot and then
mm,
like maybe in the morning it changed and little breezy. That's why a lot of people had allergies down here because Virginia weather sometimes changes up and stuff like that. But you
yeah.
know, but ain't nothing like New York, man. It ain't nothing like you
Yeah, I
know. So,
love New York. I love New York. Especially that's what I'm saying. That's why I had to ask the question because Virginia, I can't imagine there's anything like Brooklyn. Shane. I feel like I would get bored as hell in Virginia. That's a when I
I
went to
mean, at the
Virginia.
same time, see, I don't know how to drive. I got to work on it too. And then, but even like if you know
Okay.
how to drive, a lot of places close early.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Oh man, that's a hell
So
of
you
a distance from
driving
New
and
York.
stuff. So you go like you got certain like fast food places. I mean, certain restaurants. Some of it's closed early, so you got to get a head start and everything. And so
Man.
people are so even like so people talking about you got to have a car. Yes, you definitely got to have a car, but you know they got transit down there. But even like certain transit, you know, you want to do something. You got to do something early and stuff. And so you know they
Yes.
got a few places open like maybe 12 and 1, but but you got to go outside.
Mm,
You know, but no, ain't nothing like it. So, you know, so that's the way it is. So, you know, so only that the thing is that the only thing really open up really late is Food Line. Open at 11 o'clock. And
right.
Walmart. But you know, you got
Mm,
the other the like restaurants they close like 9 to 10, you know,
mm,
sometimes 10:30. So, you know, if you want to like go out and everything, you know, that's why like it's good, you know, go out like late afternoon, early night and stuff like that. You know, because you know everybody is trying to like, get up there and everything. That's the only thing I don't like about it. You can't really enjoy yourself. You really want to and stuff. Say you go outside, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I got this question.
go
What
ahead.
keeps you? Because what I notice about you most is that your consistency is amazing, right? Like, what inspires you to stay so consistent? Like, I'm talking about with like this YouTube shit. Like, what inspires you to stay so consistent?
I do have my moments that I want to. I took breaks, but I was consistent. I think my consistency had to. I think what it is that always strive to be better for myself and whoever I want to reach to.
Okay,
Think is bigger than me, and to understand that I take pride of being versatile, being diverse.
okay,
I could talk about everything, and I know that I could back it up.
okay.
I take pride in doing it. I'm not a one trick pony. Now, you
Did
know what
you?
I'm saying. You've been through my channels throughout these. I don't talk about. I know a little about this. I know a little about that. I know about this, and
Yeah,
also I talk about my life experience and stuff what I've been through and stuff like that to help people and stuff. And so sometimes I'm open to my life, sometimes I'm not. And so, but
yeah,
I take pride of it, because you never know, somebody probably going through tough times and they probably looking at the clock. I probably want. I don't want to be here no more. So I take
yeah.
pride in that to get on it, and maybe I say something to snap out of it,
Mhm.
or
So,
they can help me too. So
so you've never been a boxing channel at all, right?
no,
Okay, all right.
but I do talk about. I do have boxing on my channel,
Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
but it's
Yeah,
not.
I've never been. It's never been opulent LD TV boxing. It's never been LD. Opulent boxing. I've always, in all honesty, I talk the least on my channel about boxing.
Yeah, I want to
Out of
ask you a question.
I
How
talk. Go
now?
ahead.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
ask you a question. I mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
Um.
good?
Okay. Tell people about your channel.
My channel is basically just, in essence, like a variety channel. Like whatever I feel that's interesting to me, that's what I talk about. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I go. Whatever, like say a short or something that I end up recording it or something, I just throw it up and see what it does. So I have no real, like, a lot of people be like, oh, just focus on a niche. Like I don't care about doing it their way. I'm doing it my way. You know what I'm saying? And so for the most part, I enjoy just giving my opinion on hot topics and shit like that. Or of course, there's some other stuff I'm gonna get into, but there's other things I want to do. But for the most part, I like give my opinion about certain celebrity ish, or even it's pretty much the same thing with like boxing. Everybody's giving their opinion. Of course, there's facts in there as well, but for the most part, we're all giving our opinion on how we feel about different things. And so that's what I enjoy doing. I
Okay.
just
Okay.
feel I just feel like just being 100 OG, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of these sports is fake, right? And
Hmm.
so and then even like there's so many boxing channels, like why do I want to, and this is from the beginning, why would I want to limit myself to boxing? Even though I
Right.
love boxing, don't get me wrong, but there's just so many things to speak about, which is why I just always left myself open, and so, versus putting boxing on the end of my channel. And so I enjoy, here and there, like I said earlier, like I don't really like talking boxing that much anymore, but I will go, support people who talk boxing, and I'll leave it at that. But as far as that, other than that, I like just talking about a bunch of current events and shit like that, or wild stories, shit like that. I like talking about, stuff like that pretty much. But
Yeah. Let
when it
me
comes to
see.
boxing, I love watching it, but it's like everybody's having pretty much the same conversation. I get it. There's only so many ways you can twist and turn. Like my passion for like hip hop and shit is way. Even though, like I said, I love boxing, but my passion for like hip hop and shit is way more. What is it? Heavier. Like my passion is way more thicker for that. So, but I appreciate people that talk about boxing and everything, but I can't do it every day in and day out, man. I can't do it. And props to those who can, but I ain't want to, or I can't hear the same shit over and over either. But also, just to be honest, like I support some people where they may be talking about the same shit, but it's just because I'm loyal to supporting people who support me, So, I come through, like I said, I love just I'm a different type of supporter in the sense of if I support you, I'm a rock with you. I'm gonna make sure I'm there. I'm not gonna hide in the rafters, right? I'm gonna hit the like button. I'm gonna say what's up. Not saying I gotta stay there the whole show or whatever, but I'm gonna come through, show love. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what I came to YouTube to do, really, to support, and of course, ended up creating a channel that I just give what I expect in return. So, oh dang, OD, it's just me on here. Y'all hear me? Oh, there you go. Okay, you back? You back?
Mm-hmm.
I see. I'm like, oh dang, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, OG, I just, of course, I came to YouTube supporting people, and then I ended up creating a channel. And now, as a content creator, I can't think as a consumer anymore. I have to think as a content creator. So it's about being more selfish, even though I kind of stopped my channel for a little bit, like, taking a break or whatever. But you have to be selfish with this shit. You can't spread yourself thin. You got to focus on your mission and latch on to those people who are gonna reciprocate what you reciprocate. Because
Yeah.
everybody at the end of the day, yeah, we all want a channel full of people who support us. But if people aren't supporting you like they support you, then keep it moving. You know, there's
I
there's
agree.
there's a lot of people that I've supported that I've never seen them come through my shit. I'm like, damn, like it's crazy, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
It's
but
like
the thing is, I don't really say nothing too much, but I definitely clock it mindfully.
right.
So
Let me ask you this question on too. What do you see the
you
future of your channel?
definitely growth in what I'm trying to do. I'm putting something together, a new basically a new plan. So I don't want to speak too much of it. I
Gotcha.
just kind of I just kind of want to end up doing it. So but as of right now, I'm kind of like pretty much taking a break.
Gotcha.
Well,
Before we
actually,
continue,
OG,
go.
I wanted to end the channel. That was my main thing. But once I said I'm pretty much I'm done with this page, this channel. I started to realize, like, man, how much I love this name that I'm using, and I love just it's almost natural for me to just throw something up in a sense. So it's like, man, I gotta keep going. And then, like I said, even though, like I said, I see people like you who are just superbly consistent, and I'm like, wow, like he just keep going and going and going. I'm like, dang, that's inspiring to me. That's really inspiring.
Appreciate it. Well, you look on my channel, I put in some work, but you see them views. Like,
But
but
the
but
but, but the thing is, but the thing
go.
is like the goal. The thing is that you keep going because remember, there's so many people with channels. I mean, not channels, but there's so many people with accounts on here. All it takes is really that one to catch on, and so as long as you're putting yourself out here, you're gonna find your tribe. That's how I feel. That's what
You
I
know,
know, actually.
you know what I think. It was
Mm.
somebody told me this. Oh, Sister Fields, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Sister Fields. Thanks for being here. Brother Clarence and brother, you want to ask any questions? Go ahead. But somebody told me this like a while back. He said, you know what I think was going to happen to you? I think you're going to hit something big and you're going to keep on going up. You ain't going to never see what you're going through right now.
Mm.
He said, I believe that. I think you're gonna hit something that's gonna
Yeah. I
you
definitely
you
feel
you
that.
you you're not you ain't gonna see what you doing in the past. You gonna be up there. You're gonna be. And I said,
One
well,
thing,
that happens.
one thing, OG, one thing that I've learned because even when I think my last video I did was like I think it had like 600 something views, but my biggest views, the most views that I've gotten on a video, there was like nobody that I supported was there. You know, so I say that the reason I say that is because I've come to love strangers, right? Strangers will will support you. For the most part, strangers are your best friend. Like, stop looking for people who know you to support you and be open for strangers because they gonna come through.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. And I think that's very important. But like I keep on pushing, I don't know. It seems like I'm there. You know, it's like I think it was going to hit me. It's going to be least suspected. That's
Yeah,
what I
it
think.
always would. Because remember this, OG, like I do shorts, right? Well, I used to do a lot of shorts. I never knew what a short was gonna do. The shorts that I thought were gonna be like, oh, this one gonna do, do a shitload of views. They didn't do nothing. The ones that I like, okay, this ain't nothing. They did a lot of views. You just never know. Or even when doing videos too. I do a video and I'm like, okay, this video, I'll probably put in my least effort. Motherfucker, I do all types of numbers. You like, what the hell? But my issue is consistency. I gotta have. I want your consistency. That's why it's
Yeah,
so inspiring.
but you know, like I would tell you, like I tell you before, don't beat yourself up because a lot of people, you know, find a lot of people get burnt out because they don't because they outside is not balanced. You gotta have balance. That you know why my consistency really work? Because I got like strong people like Brother McLean, Alice Haran, and a few
Yeah,
others have been supporting me throughout the years, and the ones along the way, well, including you part of that. We know each
yeah,
other for a minute now, so you've been part of the growth and everything, but I had an outside life, you know what I'm saying? That's balance. I make sure
yeah,
it doesn't intervene and stuff. So when it's time for me, I ain't gonna do nothing. I do think, but I try to be more consistent as I can. Especially I'm getting older now, and
yeah,
and I'm trying to put things out there. So I'm like, but I always want to be versatile. I gotta be diverse. I take pride in that. Consistently being versatile and diverse.
mm,
That's my channel. I don't, nah. What you do? No, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it. You know what I mean? So I take
yeah,
pride, and I take pride, like I know box. I take pride. I know about. I got sports because I want you to join sports and politics. I'm gonna bring that back on my channel. You know what I mean? So I got a few series that I'm gonna bring back in the near future. We go get into that though. So and ladies, welcome to get on the panel and stuff. I'm gonna do more so lives. That means I just talk to y'all, no panel discussion, and do that too. So I always want to get people, something. Oh yeah, I'm let me look. Oh, okay, I got that. Oh yeah, I didn't like that. Oh, I met back in the days you used to cook, show us a thing. I got all this. I got mukbangs and all that. I told people just go through my channel. It's nothing but growth.
yeah.
Like maybe the numbers don't show it, you know what I'm saying? They're growth, And so that I take
So,
pride in doing it.
so who? My question is, who besides Clarence? Okay, let me say it this way: when it comes to content creators, who besides Clarence like comes to and supports you, like and like shows love to you?
Um brother fourth quarter talk. Alice Haran. One you see
Okay.
there, he been on supporting me. She stay sleep TV.
Okay.
Um, mm, um, I can say Kareem Field. She been supporting me, her and everything. Sister Wise Sports.
Mm,
Um, 12 Vows. She supported me throughout the years.
okay.
Um, Coco Tina 2207 Queen Coco Tina 2207. Um, Cause I got foot soldier. She's a woman. She a sister. She supports me. I got quite a few women have support me too. So
Okay.
just a few have been supported. You know, there's
So
some
this
that, huh?
no, this next question is, what inspired you to start a channel to begin with?
Hmm, good question. Well, with this guy I knew, I grew up in New York, right? He said, "Do you ever think about Star Channel?" I said, "Yeah, I don't even have a YouTube channel." Yes, you do have a YouTube channel.
Mm.
The music videos is on that's your channel. He said, "What you
Yeah.
do, you take those out." So I have over 700 different music videos.
Okay.
So he said, "Scratch that out and start your channel." And it took me
Mm.
almost 3 days to clear that out. That's back in maybe end of 2012.
Okay.
And it took, like I said, took me 3 days, and I did two. But I was not all that serious with it. I was doing like off and on, and two up to like maybe like towards the end of 2013. That's when I got serious,
Okay.
about it.
Okay, that's dope.
I'm sorry. That's what's up. So that's what the consistency you talking about. That's what I
Yeah.
started. Really,
Damn.
off and on. Yeah. Since
Yeah.
2000. Yeah. I got some since 2012 on here. 2012, but really started getting big like towards the end of 2013. That's what I really like.
Okay.
Growth. That's what I'm talking about. I was into dead and growth.
Yeah, so you've been through a lot of changes on
A
YouTube.
lot of changes. Yeah, I see a lot of changes. I see a lot of changes. Quite a few people say they have my back. They shitted on me, and a few other people. They no longer here. There's some that is circle around. I'm not gonna say the names and stuff like that, but I just keep it pushing. We met some great people in here. We didn't get along, but we kind of find out. I apologize. We apologize. We good people now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
my channel been well. I went through three names. At first, well, you know me as JT Blackness.
Okay.
That's who
Yeah.
you knew me as JT Blackness. Then after that, I changed to the Darkness Awaken. Then
Yeah.
I had that for a minute, and then I think believe maybe I don't know, maybe 2017, 18. I was calling myself the Underrated Darkness already, but I was still my child's the name was still the Darkness Awaken.
Okay.
But the Underrated Darkness was like strong. And
Yeah.
so it was sooner or later I was going to change it. So I ended up changing it to the Underrated Darkness. And that's what I'm at right now.
So how
Change
many
it.
how many uh how many groups have you been affiliated with? Oh, okay, hold on. First question is, have you joined any groups on this thing
The
since you
LGBC, that's about it. And my
okay,
other
that's
group,
on
my own group, my family, Underrated Darkness. I mean,
okay.
underrated one.
Okay.
My family. I don't call it my group. I call it the family
Right, right. I got
that I
you.
that I that, that I that I pick.
Okay. So besides your family, do you feel that you move better not being in a group?
I move anyway.
Or either way? You cool either
It
way?
don't make it different to me. I thought I was moving because before I got in the group, I was moving by myself anyway.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
okay.
But at the time, I was creating little by little. I was creating the underrated one family.
Okay.
Even 2012 when I first started. It's just that
Mm,
at the time I ain't find people was ready to join my family until like
I got you.
2013. I would add here, there, stuff. There are few that they said they were part of it, but they didn't fit the qualifications of being part of my family. Say be straight up, had character and stuff. Whoever is it, have their back and stuff. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, my advice for anybody who like if I could talk to somebody that's new to YouTube, I would tell them to not join any groups. I would tell them to yes, you can be associated with people and that's about it. That's the best thing to do, is to associate with people who are going to support you like how you support them. But
Yeah.
I would tell them to stay free of joining a group, because there's just a lot of unforeseen stuff that's out of your control that you really don't want to deal with. Especially, like, we're adults now. A lot of us, we have kids, we have wives, right? You don't want to be dealing with that shit, you know? So that would
Yeah.
definitely be my.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. Yeah, please don't. That's a brother McClay. He's right. He agreeing with you. Please don't. And so the thing about that is that I always operate. I can tell you right now, brother McClain. But brother McClain, he going along. He go McClain on me. Oh brother says we know each other longer. I'm saying me, you know each other longer. But brother McClain, you know me like since 2020. So he see people like fake. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
besides you, and he besides you, like always have people to come to my channel. He do the same thing too. Come to my brother. Why you ain't fucking my brother? You know what I'm saying? He brings some good shit. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that because a lot of people had come through this channel and become famous. Y'all
Okay.
know who y'all are. I'm talking about men, some women. Y'all know y'all come through my channel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want to show love to me, but it's fine though. But like again, I'm not saying as oh yeah that I'm stuck up. Nah, but y'all know y'all come through my channel. Y'all know, but y'all don't want to show
Mm.
love. It's cool. But I'm still, you know what I mean? So me, I'm a vet in this game. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. I'm a vet in this game. So hey, y'all
Awesome.
they cannot say nothing. You know what I'm talking about, my brother. They can't say nothing to me, but I know a lot of people came through this chase. Y'all know who y'all are.
Mm.
Y'all know who y'all are.
I would also inspire, or I would like to encourage people to not have people meet your family, like, and what I mean by that, I mean like your significant other or your wife, because there's people that have met my wife that I wish I could take back. I wish it could have just been me there to meet the person versus having my wife there, or my kids. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what, if anything would have angered me, that angers me the most, is like me allowing a person that close to me to meet people that I love the most in the world, And
Yeah.
so and then
But
and then they turn out and then they turn out to be lame as fuck. So uh,
yeah,
and
yeah, man.
let me just say this, like, fake people can do real shit too. That
Yeah,
doesn't make them
yeah.
real, though. That doesn't make them real. So, hey, that's what that is. But I wish, if I could take anything back, I would take that back. I wish that my wife and kids didn't see certain people in a physical, like, but it is what it
Mhm.
is. It's a great learning experience. And I definitely learn now. That's why, like, I really establish boundaries now. So it helped with me. That was
Yeah,
like the start of ever thinking of boundaries, really. Because, man,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? I could tell you one thing. I met Brother McLean 3 times. Great brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah,
just
there's,
solid, solid, solid as a rock,
there's,
solid as a
and
rock, bro. Now
even me
don't
saying,
don't get him mad though, because he gonna hit your seat. He gonna beat you up with a bat, with a New York bat. Don't fuck with this baloney. But he's solid.
yeah, even
Cook
with
down
that said,
here,
though, I have,
solid, brother, solid. He knows
even
me,
with that,
man, too. He been raising face to face. He even though he met the miss and everything too. Fake, and I know
mm,
his family to do for good brother. I'm not just saying it. That's a good brother. That's a good brother right there. Vibe and everything. You know what I mean?
mhm, yeah,
So, but you gotta have pick people. That's what I'm saying. Go back to
that's
my
true too.
underrated one family. I talk about social media. I had pick people, and they actually
Mm,
people I had to let them go
mm,
because being my family is VIP, baby.
Mm.
Ain't no fake on already one family. You know that. You're part of the family. They ain't no
So,
fake
but
over here.
on the contrary, though, like I've met some definitely some, like you said, some great people, man, and it makes it all worthwhile. Like, okay, this is why, I open myself up to meet these type of individuals who you can really vibe with, without having to, like I said, OG, like I don't kiss anybody's ass. That's not what I do. It ain't never been in my DNA to kiss anybody's ass. If we vibe naturally, we gonna vibe naturally. And I'm also cool with the idea if you don't fuck with me, then that's fine. That's cool. But there's a lot of as Clarence saying in the chat, there's a lot of very fake people
It is.
out there.
See,
So
see. Usually I get very direct, but I'm gonna show some respect. There. I'm gonna do some PG. But I'm talking about men. There's a lot of men like they like the brown. They like the brown mic, if you know what I mean. They like to get on their knee. They get on their knees. They like different color knee pads. They like
yeah.
they like to hit off and make sure they have a giraffe neck. That's all I'm saying.
straight up, straight up, straight up. Trill spill,
That's PG. I'm keeping it PG. I can go off on you.
OG. Yeah, I get your drift.
Like,
I peep game.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody be talking about those are ones look like those are muscle bound. So why do you think these CC have muscle around their face and their neck? Because they taking long ones. There's other ones that they like the brownie in the back. They like the short. That's why
Straight
they
up.
walk in a certain way. You know what I mean? People think I'm clowning, and this ain't no clown shit. You know what I'm saying? This is real
Truth,
talk. You know what I'm
Truth.
saying?
Yeah.
These are the people that hold prominent positions around the world. These are I call them emotional overly. I coin this overly emotional motherfuckers. These are the ones they want to listen. Real men like me, you, Curtis McLean, they don't want that. You know what I'm saying? They like to twiggle they like to twiggle, they like to get their hands. They put their vegetable oil, they like the fire hose, not zero on your face. You know what I'm saying? They like stuff like that. Nah, we ain't like that. We don't like stuff like y'all keep it over there, They like them, they like mayonnaise on their face, I ain't talking about health either. You
Straight
know,
up.
they
Like,
hey, look, they like I said, they like Johnson baby, you that is white, you know what I mean? That is
that
little
transparent
PJ.
mayo.
Yeah,
That's that
exactly.
transparent mayo.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Look a little shiny,
Oh my
Shiny,
goodness.
sunny boy. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We got sunny boys, shiny boys, and they want to act like, oh, they ain't all about me. Oh, they ain't. Yes, it is. You know what I'm saying? So why do you think they grill so shiny? You know what I'm saying? Ziggy. You know what I mean? They like that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about the young people. I'm talking about people in our age. You know what I mean?
Man, for
Our age
real.
group. You know what
For
I'm saying?
real. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's crazy.
I be peeping them out, and young women, young women too. Y'all like the licky, y'all like water flows, Y'all like water flows like TLC. Y'all too. You know what I mean? So, we
Glad
did
to see you,
people
Miss
that's
Steve.
unnatural, and we see it in a in a attitude, in their ways and stuff. Pray. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sister Fields. Come back. And yeah, you always catch on the we want. Yeah, but we deal with those type of people. And I have to say that because the real ones that want to do real things, they want to make us extinct.
Yeah.
And my fight, no, yeah, I'm not gonna make sure you ain't extinct. And real women too, try to make us extinct. So we dealing with people that because they had trauma, but they got emotional problems. I mean, you got some men they still sucking on mama's titty. Nom. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to use a motherfucking cup of drink for your motherfucking selves. So to
True.
me, if you don't know how to drink your own motherfucking self, that means you can't deal with life. Because when you deal with life, you gotta deal with mistakes that you made. You gotta deal with certain things and stuff. And a lot of
Yeah.
them, nom. And so And so, but these are people that had jobs. These are people who live with people. These are people. But there's a sad thing about it. In this world, they like the overly emotional people. It goes for women too. They hold them in a high pedestal, and then you got the simps and the simpettes. They say, "Who's the simpettes?" It's the women. And so it's a lot of, lot of nonsense out here that needs to be stopped. And you got people say, oh, it's their truth. No, 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 no. In life, there's the right thing to do things. There's a wrong thing to do things. There is truth or false. Take your pick. And we gotta stop playing the middle. If we want things to be right. We want the family to be right. We want the black men and the black women to be together, so we can work our differences to be together. We gotta stop being in the middle, because when we be in the middle, that's where the devil gets us and everything. And we gotta learn to tell the truth. We gotta learn to tell the truth, even though they don't want to hear the truth. But we try to be by ourselves, or be by selected people, or these are the same ones want to slander our names and stuff. Instead, do whatever you can to disrupt your existence and stuff like that. So
Have you ever had to play a character while being on YouTube? And how do you feel about people who create like a kid? Because let me just say this: I've met people, and of course in real life, that they're really nothing like how they are on, say YouTube, right? So how do you feel about people who create characters for YouTube? But first, have you ever created one? Have you ever created one for yourself?
and I don't play characters and make fun of myself, joking around like I
Okay.
did right now.
Yeah, that's different. That's different though. I mean, like
Well,
I'm talking about like
okay, yeah, no,
a whole
not
persona, like a whole
no.
different persona. Okay. Uh,
The only time I come out different if I'm angry. If I come out angry, then you gonna see another side. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
That's that. But great now.
Understandable.
No, no. I'm JT Blackness. I'm JT Black. I'm still the same person. I'm underrated. The Doctor's Awakened. I'm still the same person. Underrated Doctor, same person. Never change. Grow. I'm not changing to a different. Be better. Yeah, but no, not from YouTube for what?
And what I do understand though, I understand that we all have different aspects of who we are as a person, right? But when it's just like a totally different character, that's a bit odd. I don't get it. I don't really get that, to be honest. Like I've
Yeah, brother
never
McClung, yeah. Yeah,
I
I
don't get
don't
that.
get it either.
I
But
don't
but
get it.
see, this is, get back to the men, right?
Mm,
We men play these things, play these things. Hey, yo, I'm the man and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And because the women, listen, women loves attention,
mm,
but it depends what you want, women. They are a real woman. See that I ain't dealing with that for gay. You know what I'm saying? I want a real man, real attention. You know what I'm saying? And the sad thing about the women, they gravitate to that. So that's let me know who raised you, stuff like that. So that's why one of
yeah,
the reasons that you see them, pop, you with the women and stuff, and all that with the wine and all that. Yeah, you see them flossing and stuff, and oh yeah, look at this and that and everything. But but at the same time, you see this going on, and everything, you shake your head. And I said, you know, but you want to knock the next man, want to knock the
mm,
next black man. You don't want to help them, they want to help another man. But you want to say, listen, I got more game than you know what I'm saying? And so then when you're talking about outside the spaces, you got some men, they are gullible, they can a woman could
yeah,
tell them certain things that, oh, he ain't doing nothing. They go, and they want to be a big man. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna step up and do such like that. And it's a lot. So it's a lot. To the counterpart and that thing. But as a man, you gotta stand on your own 2 feet and learn from it. Real man, you gotta learn
yeah,
from it. You gotta learn
yeah.
from
That's
it.
the
And
that's
it's
definitely
just
the greatest
this. As
thing to
long as you
do.
still have your morals, convictions, and as long as you had your character and understand, God made you as a man, it's what it is. But to understand, being a real man is a task, though.
Yeah,
We always,
and
because they always going to try to put us, but now, so the
you,
being,
you
so
have to be.
we have,
You
huh?
definitely. I just feel. How can I say it? let me just say
It's,
all power to men who can stand on their own too, you know?
yeah, and it doesn't mean you have to have money either. Just
Yeah,
stand on your own. You know,
right, right. Yeah,
stand on your own. I don't care what you had. I don't care what you have. Stand on your own.
yeah, stand on all 10.
You know,
What up,
people think about
Gato?
money, big money protection means no, stay on your own. Comes from you. Stay on your own. You could be broke as you know what I'm saying, but stay on your own. Stay on your own. And I learned that from my boss. Stay on your own. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, I don't know nobody ain't gonna tell me. I'm just listen. You know, you can have a lot. I said you can have a lot of money. You ain't being you don't know how to be a man. Stay on your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stay on your square. You know, people say, "Oh, stay on your square." No, y'all stay on a lot of squares that you can go inside. I'm talking about stay outside the square. You control the square because when you go inside the square, you don't control it. Yeah, other people control. You control your own outside the square. You control that. You know,
yeah,
you put in what you need to put in where it's positive. You know, your own vision into it. So that's why I said outside the square, we control it. Your own outside the square. Don't go inside the square because inside the square, that's when people could control it. I'm not saying you ain't strong enough to get out of it, but we have to think of stuff like that. I just came up with that matter of fact. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Mhm.
Came up with
Yeah,
that. Like that. I know outside you like that. Yeah, but that's why I look at it. You know, my square is outside. So I gotta control the 3 to 4 parameters and then make sure what's going inside of it so I get the benefits. And then the ones that wants to be around it, they get the benefits out of it too. But you know, these men and women want to be shown, want to be validated, but you be validated of wrong people until God like that's not the way.
I feel that you should validate yourself. And
Yeah.
if you look as a man or even as a woman, if you're looking for a woman or a man or a man or a woman to validate you, you're just already on the wrong journey already from
Right,
the
right. You
jump.
know, now, if it's addition to it, no problem with that.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
addition,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
But the other than I'm out of myself, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and you know, listen. I'm still a work in progress, and I coined this too: eternal learning. You got to be on that
mm,
eternal learning. It's never going to
mm.
stop. It's a
Right,
marathon.
I love
So,
that.
so we got to keep on. You got to keep on this eternal learning. That's what I'm on.
Yeah,
And people don't want to understand a man or woman. That's on y'all. But you got to keep on that eternal learning to be better. You know what I'm saying? It's so that's what we got to do. You know, we got to keep on. You know what I mean? That's life. You know what I mean? Got to be life is
yeah.
eternal learning for me. You know, you always gonna
That's
learn.
the
I don't care
first.
what age.
Oh, gee, that's the first. That's like the first sign of dying when somebody doesn't want to. When nobody wants to keep learning, right? To me, that's like the
You
first sign of
how you could
dying.
be around people that you cannot learn from. I
Mm,
mean, I
that's
mean, you
crazy.
be around certain people that I'm just learning from this and that. I mean, it has to be a certain time that it had to be a certain a certain urgency of certain things like you want to know. So that's why, like, I was looking through Instagram while I was waiting to do the live, do the chopper with you, and I was seeing different stuff in New York, different
Mm,
different restaurants. I said, oh, I ain't know. So wherever I get in New York, I can go here and get it, mean, or whatever it is. And so I was like, wow, and I mean, you got to think of stuff to help energize your brain and
yeah,
stuff like that. Sometimes I look at certain stuff, I say, oh, it keep me going and stuff like that. You know, maybe to the next person, it's not important to them, but it's important to me. But you never know. Experience. I go by experience. You never know. You might be in New York. You might be in the circle. Oh yeah, I could pull it up on Instagram because I already said my Instagram. We can go here. We can save
right,
money.
right.
You never know. Life is full of,
Hmm.
uncertainty too sometimes, and you gotta. And so that's why I take pride in doing that and everything. To be your own book. You know what I'm saying? Be your own
Yeah,
chapter.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because you never know. You never know what certain things you might need. There's certain things that happens in the car, happens something like I could pull it up on Instagram. I could pull this up. How you? I gotta say this. Yeah, you do it like this. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna close your mind to certain things, you know that's on you. I don't want to close my mind. And I learned that from my late parents. I learned it from the elders. I learned it when I was coming when I things I was telling you and the other people about it in my life. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be closed up. I want to keep on learning this stuff. And that's the one beautiful thing. Like if you with that special one, y'all could experience that together. And
Oh,
I
definitely.
appreciate that because when you were saying that you was with your wife for 12 years and you got married for 8 and stuff, it actually
Yeah.
let me know that you enjoy what she's showing you, and you enjoy what you're showing her. You work good
Yeah.
together and stuff, and you could expand yourself, and that's a beautiful thing that we got to get back doing this stuff. That's not
Yeah.
good to
That's a
keep things to yourself all the time. It's not good, so
yeah. That's definitely my best friend. Like my best travels have been with her, and
yeah.
she's pretty much like my like my sidekick.
And
And
and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's what we
yeah.
gotta understand that. And I think that's missing in our community. We talk, y'all, on the phone, but we talk about that, and that is the problem. But see, when we say stuff like that, it's a problem. It's a problem. When you with that significant one, that's supposed to be your best friend. Yeah, you got your family, understand it's your friends. I
Hmm.
understand that we're supposed to rely on that person. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be like taking the place and stuff like that. But there are some people not raised that way. And sometimes, so this is what I'm saying, you shouldn't be in a relationship. Or you shouldn't be engaged. Especially you shouldn't be married either. Because that
Yeah.
person treats
You
you as
you.
a friend.
It's definitely marriage is definitely something that you got to continuously work on, and if you're not serious, just be single. Just be by
And, and,
yourself.
and
You
also
can.
and also and also too, I was hearing some people talking about, I was hearing this like a while back, and it was this lady. She was talking about like, yeah, she was This is on one a few times I finished setting up one of my lives and stuff. This back
Mm,
like I said back happened like little. It was like after the COVID ended. This is what I'm talking about 2021. This because my brother passed away. Said I believe um he passed it on August of 2021, right? And this happened like
gotcha.
back in the summer. So this lady, she was saying that, what's a sense to be in a committed relationship that you still say that you're single?
Mm, yeah.
And I thought about it. I mean, it's a reminder. I said, wow, what's the sense? That made no sense to me.
Right. Not at
They
all.
said, well, what they ain't go right, you just want to leave? What's that mean to me? No, 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 no. And so, but when we talk about issues like that, people get very, very offensive about it. They ain't gonna go. They ain't working out. Or this and that. But like I always say, if it's a mutual agreement, it's a mutual agreement. But at the
Yeah.
same time, that we have to keep on talking about it. And when you commit to that person, you commit to that person.
Yeah.
You just things they and it goes for me too. Every day it goes for me too and stuff. So and that's what
I I
so
just
see
feel like I just feel like having that one and building something is so much more fulfilling than being out single, smashing this chick, that chick. Like it could be done, but there's nothing fulfilling in that for me. So I chose to let me just have one.
and that's
I
what it
have my
was. Yeah, right. And
yeah,
that's the thing. You know, before I got with the miss and everything, they said, man, why don't you do this? Nah, I'm talking to one. I'm talking to one. You know what I'm saying?
right, yeah,
I'm building with
yeah,
that one. I'm building that one. I don't do nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, but I always been like that. You know what I mean? Always been like that. So, did I have my lady like in the past? Yeah, I had my knee and everything. But I'm talking about committing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. I commit to you. I ain't smashing nobody up.
Mhm.
I'm smashing that one. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's I'm smashing that one. I'm not like that, but you got people out here, they don't think that way. Man and women. Some they don't think that way. Oh, I seduce it. No, no, no. You're not
I
thinking
mean,
about it, You're not you,
I
you
had a hell of a single life. You know, I was knocking them down like I was bowling, but
yeah, I bet
those,
you was, bro. I seen
those
you, man.
days,
Oh,
those
yeah.
days,
Yeah.
those are tucked. There was a tucked in memory lane. You
Yeah,
know,
I see you
but
got your little bit, they pulling out. Oh, there,
yeah,
knocking them down
yeah,
Minnesota. The Minnesota chicks. I'm checking out the Minnesota chicks too back in the day. Yeah.
yeah, they got some. Yeah, they definitely got some.
They
You
got
know,
some Minnesota now, y'all.
yeah.
Don't sleep. I look too back in the days now. I look. I said,
But
oh,
even I say that to say that even like the variety, like I just feel so much more fulfilled now with one, you know.
mhm.
And yeah, that was fun then, but this is so much more fulfilling for me. So this is just it's just where I'm supposed to be. You know,
And
one
I
thing that
think
I thought of though, the one of
what?
the main things that I that made me think of like, okay, if I wanted to be single or if I wanted to be in a relationship, I thought of the idea of like dating a chick and like saying having memories with other chicks and like you're trying to tell a story. You know how like some chicks be like, oh, well, that was that other chick. You're like, man, like who wants to deal with that all the time? Like you just trying to tell a story of something that just happened, and a chick be like, oh, who? Like, no, that wasn't me. You weren't with me. Like, man, the hell? I'm not trying to deal with that for the rest of my life. Like, hey, a chick could throw a whole story off because she's focused on oh, it wasn't her that you were with having this great time with. So that's one of the things like, yeah, it's time for me to fall out the game. Especially
Yeah,
like just imagine, can you imagine like being in the game today when you look out there, single cousins and shit. I'd be like, man, it's a crazy game out there right now.
it is
And
a crazy game. This. That's why like I'll talk to some brothers like that, like in our age group. I say, yo, if you got a good woman, you'll stick with it. Work that out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And vice versa. Because it's crazy that you think the grass is greener. I said, fuck that.
nope,
It's brown. It's brown. And ain't no more green out there. It's brown in that piece. You know what I mean? And you
right,
don't want you don't want no brown grass coming at you. That's not good.
yeah,
So, but at the same time, there are people, there are some, they figure they had choices,
mm.
and so sometimes they figure like, oh, I have choices and I can go do okay. I'm just saying that
You
I
know,
it's just gotta think. But
You know what it is, OG though? I think it's social media. It gives people a false sense of having a lot of options. Just because you can
yeah,
see it and scroll on it, that doesn't mean that that's yours or you can have that, So instead of watering the grass that they have, they think the grass over there is greener, and then for the most part, they end up realizing that they were wrong.
yeah. And sometimes, remember we talking about moments. Man, we talking about moments. Sometimes there are
Yes.
some moments. We think about moments. So, oh, that ain't no good. Instead of
Hmm.
like, sometimes you gotta think about again, learning from my parents, learning from my late parents, learning from my late aunt and uncles, learn from my
Yeah.
aunties, even learn from the mistakes they made and stuff, And I think
Yes.
about it,
Yes.
and I be looking like, yeah, and then things I mean, and I'm like, excuse me, I'll be like, understand, because you got some people be like this. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got people like this saying like,
Yeah.
no,
On your ear. Yeah.
think of the long term, think about it. Like I said, I'm saying it again, if it's mutual, it's fine. So that's different. But you have someone here, instead of like understand like it's different, so you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's different when you work with a person and then when the things doesn't, it's like wow, it's like that, I use myself, say, wow, it's like that. Really,
Yeah.
it's like that now. I understand. I put myself out there, use me as an example. I just use me as an example, and it's like, really? You know what I mean? Like, I understand that, but man, I understand. It's like, really?
Yeah, you got
And
me till five,
so,
OG.
huh?
You said you got me till 5. I'm gonna go after that. I'm gonna go pick up these babies from this
Okay,
daycare. Yeah,
okay.
you got me till
Again, you
5.
got 6 more minutes. No, we're gonna make it 4 more
But
minutes.
I definitely had to make sure I go over because of the technical difficulties we had at the beginning.
I appreciate
Um,
because I was going to ask you, and you kept on going and everything. I
yeah,
appreciate that, but
yeah, for
but I
sure.
think the thing about this that we should have more of these discussions that like this and stuff like that. We gotta have heartfelt discussions. It's gotta be hard. It's gotta be think that
Right,
and
right.
how thing is right now that we have to we have to get back of building. Now, what building means? That means you got to go through the long haul. You got
Mm,
to go. Sometimes you got to tap within yourself. That something, oh, I feel right, but at the same time, what's the bigger picture? And there are
yeah.
sometimes that we see certain things, certain limits of time. Oh, I'm getting away from that. Oh, this ain't long enough. You about do sometimes that I'm talking about some things. It takes time. I mean, it takes a little time, and sometimes you get it. You get a certain place. I'm not. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. So, and I'm
Mm,
saying that it goes. How you supposed to deal with life? Then you got
right.
around there, and then but your life ain't all good either.
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so
That's real.
we gotta have these discussions like that. And a lot of us as a people, I told my men and women, we don't want to have these discussions though. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And so because then you be around toxic people and you see who they are, but you stay with them because hey, and that's why one of the reasons they ain't got nothing to go for this. So what they got this and that going. You can still be a toxic person, and there are some that I'm going by my family. When I see from my family, you
yeah.
know, shoot. They be around them and they sabotage. I see they sabotage marriage and relationships. I see it from my
For
family.
real.
I
For real.
seen it, and I just
Yeah.
shake my head. I said that's wrong. Why yo? I don't know why they don't want to be around. What's wrong with being around? But that's their best friend though. You know what I mean? That's Bill.
Yeah.
They ain't had nothing to take away from you, but you can't tell people that because especially these men out here, like I said, they're over emotional, man. Yeah, smash the like button, y'all. We been putting it down,
Hey,
man. Come
hey,
on, man. Put it
OG, I
down. Yeah,
don't
me and the brother putting it down. The people that don't.
OG, like I like being around. Of course, I'm a heterosexual man, right?
Yeah.
When I build, when I
Me too.
build,
Me too.
when I
Mary, me too.
when I build, I like being around, likewise type men, not, feminine. And I hate to say feminine because for the most part, a lot of women on let me just say this space YouTube, they appear to move a lot better than these so-called dudes.
They do,
So
because yeah.
yeah,
Because
I that's
these men on some they on some softy Scooby Doo. Who are you though?
yeah, straight up. So it's like I can't even really say feminine.
But even
Men.
outside of space too, we cannot forget. I mean, cut you off.
Yes,
Even
yes,
outside of
yes,
space too.
yes, exactly. Yeah, both even so on the space and outside of the space, that I prefer to hang out with men who are men, and who
It's,
have
and it's self-generated, right? We learn
yeah,
from each other. We build it from each other. We cannot wait to talk to each other because we build it. But you cannot tell them Scooby Doo, motherfucker, Scooby Doo, who are
yeah.
you, man? They like to be
Once
in
a
the box, man. They like they like to be around soft milk. They like to
yeah,
be
one
soft.
yeah.
No,
Once I figure out that a dude has a bussy, I can't be around no more.
yeah. You're right,
Right?
Sister Queen. Yeah, a lot of them like that.
Yeah,
And but see, at the same time, I
yeah,
talk to these women too. Y'all accept these men. Y'all love these men because they're not challenged. Because they see a real man. It's a challenge because we want to hold you accountable. Because especially we gotta hold ourselves accountable too. So young women, y'all like to mess with these softies because you can control them. I'm
You know
I'm
what?
keeping it a buck, and I'm learning, and I learned, and that like I'm going by again. My late mother,
Mm-hmm.
on my late mother's side, and my late father's
Mm-hmm.
side of women, they own way, they said the same thing. They
Mm-hmm.
said we don't want to control them, man. Don't be around the women that
Yeah.
want to control. No. It's a challenge because you stand on your square. Remember I talked about the square that I talked
Yeah.
about, brother? You stand on your own
Yep.
square outside. You control inside that square, not nobody else.
Right. Right.
Get all that. You know what I'm saying? So the women, y'all need to step the game up too. Start, you know what I'm
But
saying?
I. But,
But you can't
but I.
tell them that. You can't tell them that because hey, you don't have no right to tell them that because you know how you protect, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm this man, bro. You know, y'all don't like me. I don't like me. Listen, I'm a heterosexual man. I'm probably a heterosexual man. I'm a real man. I'm a real man.
Man. Yeah.
I'm a real
Straight
man.
up.
Real man. I'm a much realer than you ever get. You hear what I'm saying? Because I know about life. You hear what I'm saying? I
Mm.
deal with life the way it is. I ain't
Mm.
running. I ain't running away. I ain't running away with my ass out.
I ain't see. Hey, let me say this, OG. I love Prince, but you'll never see me with my ass out like that ever.
Exactly. Ain't no
Straight up.
diamond. Ain't no diamonds and pearls coming out my ass.
Right? Nah. Hell no. Hell
Ain't like
no.
that.
Nah.
There ain't no diamond and pearl coming out my exactly. And so we hear the language of these people, you know, and it's crazy and it's real that you got some people that they call themselves heterosexual, right? Oh, you got to get out of here. I'm gonna go make your last one.
Yeah.
But I say this.
Hey, OG. Let me say this. We're gonna have to do this again because
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a part
this was
two.
a. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again, so it go a lot more smoother. I can get in on Streamlabs and
Now
it'll
you just let me
the
know
most.
when it could
Yeah.
be part two, and we're gonna do part
I
two. Last
I bet
remarks.
that.
I want you to make your last remarks. I'm gonna make my last remarks. We're gonna close out as a family, and we up out of here.
Um, first off, I appreciate you having me up here. Shout out to everybody that came through here to show love and fuck with us. Like I said, it's only right with how much love we show, you know. But hey, look out for part two because we're gonna do this again.
And
And
it's
yeah,
gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon too.
yeah, most deaf.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
for
be
sure.
soon. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be after my birthday. I know that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
My birthday before, but it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be
Mhm.
sooner than you think. Cause it's gonna be a part. Usually when I do part two, I'd be waiting for a few months and stuff like. But now
Oh
this
hell no, nah, nah.
no. This gonna be
Yeah,
sometime in June.
yeah.
This gonna be sometime in June. So make your last remark, bro. Oh, you already did that.
But yeah, blessings to everybody. It's your favorite Opulent LGTV, and I'm gone.
All right, I'm gonna say this that it's gonna be a part two sometime next month. I know this brother for a long time, and you know he always been stand up brother. And I just want to thank you, always support me, you know, inside the space and outside the space.
For
And I'm
sure.
saying that they said that the black man cannot build. You already I be killing y'all with this, and I still be making y'all look like liars. You know, we already proven that actually women could build with the minute. We proved that already. So how much do you all want? How much do you really fucking want? All right.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
how it is, yo. This how it's going to be.
Mhm.
So get on God's train or get on the devil's knapsack where y'all belong. I'm talking about the men. I'm talking about the men and the women. On behalf of my channel, behalf of my channel, Underrated Darkness, yours truly, number one grinder, one of the best kept secrets on social media, the best in the business. This is the last of Brother Openly LT TV. Will chop it with me in the Darkness Roundtable. Hashtag the Truth 2025. The number one grinder. Have a great, blessed night, and let's understand beyond that eternal learning, let it change to be better. And the ones that is closer or whatever is not willing to do that, you gotta let them go. So thank y'all. Have a blessed night until the next time. Again, he will, but you will see him often. But part 2 is gonna be sometime in June. Sometime in June. So watch out for that. So this one is peace. This one is ghost. Thank y'all. All right. Be safe. This one is ghost. Peace.